Suddenly confined to a hospital bed, he's surrounded by a maze of machines and cables. The once indestructible heart now feels fragile. Where laughter once filled your home, there's only the steady rhythm of hospital monitors. Kelly Ripa couldn't shake the feeling that she'd stepped into a scene straight out of a daytime drama. Mark Consuelos' sudden transfer to the intensive care unit turned her world upside down. No one could have foreseen the emotional storm she was about to face. Kelly, whose voice usually brightens our mornings, recently opened up about the terror of watching Mark's emergency hospital transfer. She remembered the blaring sirens, the cold white hallways, and the whispered prayers that escaped her lips as she followed the gurney carrying her husband to intensive care. "I couldn't comprehend what was happening," she said. "In an instant, we went from talking about dinner plans to confronting my worst fear, losing him." What came next stunned everyone. Despite his initial struggle to communicate in the ICU, Mark insisted on seeing his children. It wasn't a simple request. From his most vulnerable place, a father expressed a heartfelt plea, not about his pain or condition, but about love. He wanted his message to reach his children directly, a reminder of what truly mattered before the chance slipped away. Hearing that request, spoken between labored breaths, shattered Kelly's heart, a moment that no photograph could ever capture. And then came the twist. Because fulfilling Mark's wish was far from easy. Their children had grown independent through school and work, living lives of their own. Kelly wrestled with a difficult choice. Should she protect them from the fear of seeing their father so ill, or honor his wish and face the painful truth together? Love guided her decision, and it changed everything. When the children arrived, the room became charged with emotion. Kelly described Mark as calm, focused, and determined to remain the strong father figure he'd always been. His one-on-one talks with each child left deep impressions. He spoke to his eldest about courage and responsibility. He urged his middle child to stay kind and resilient. To the youngest, he whispered about joy, about how laughter can carry you through life's storms. Yet the emotional weight only grew heavier. Kelly said she realized Mark was preparing their family for more than recovery, perhaps even for the possibility of goodbye. In his eyes, she saw that rare mixture of love and sorrow that only someone standing at the edge of life can convey. For Kelly, it was a living nightmare. How do you hold on to hope when the person you love seems ready to let go? This is the scene that brought tears to many eyes. As the children played outside, Mark whispered to Kelly, begging her to keep reminding them of his love. He said, "Promise me that you'll keep telling them for me if I can't say it tomorrow." That final plea broke Kelly's heart, but it was also what gave her strength to stay by his side when everything felt lost. Still, the question lingered. Had their family said everything that needed to be said? Would those words become his legacy? Kelly admitted she spent sleepless nights in the ICU waiting room, clinging to faith, memories of their youth, and the hope of all the moments they had yet to share. During those long, quiet hours, a realization dawned on her. This happens to every family, in one form or another. Maybe not in a hospital, maybe not under fluorescent lights, but always at those uncertain crossroads where love and fear collide. That understanding inspired the message she later shared with her fans. Don't wait. Say, "I love you" now. Forgive now. Laugh, remember, embrace now. When you're in the ICU, nothing matters except love. Time, she said, is something you can feel slipping away. Thankfully, Kelly's story had a hopeful turn. Mark's resilience began to show. Slowly, the doctors started to notice small signs of progress: steadier breathing, color returning to his cheeks, the faint return of his smile. Every tiny improvement felt like a gift. The recovery was slow but steady. Then came the milestone moment. Mark breathed on his own for the first time, free from the hiss of the machines that had kept him alive. Kelly took his hand and felt his chest rise and fall, a sound more beautiful to her than any applause. Soon after, his voice returned, at first a faint whisper, then stronger and warmer. The children would visit, chatting about school, projects, and friends. For the first time in what felt like forever, Mark could do more than nod or squeeze a hand. He could laugh, ask questions, give advice. Kelly said it was that laugh, soft but familiar, that gave her hope he was really coming back to them. The sound of optimism began to drown out the machines. Rehabilitation was grueling. Mark, once strong and energetic, grew frustrated by how hard even the simplest tasks had become. Sitting up, standing, taking a few steps, each one felt like climbing a mountain. But with a physical therapist's help and a walker, he finally took his first steps down the hospital corridor. His family lined the walls, cheering him on. To Kelly, every step was proof of his strength. The man she'd built a life with was still there, determined, unbroken. His advice to the kids about courage and resilience hadn't been a farewell, it was a promise he was living out in real time. The day he was discharged felt like emerging from a long, dark tunnel. As Kelly wheeled Mark out of the ICU, the warmth of the sun on his face felt like a divine gift. The drive home was quiet, but filled with gratitude. Even the ordinary sights, the trees, the turn into their driveway, seemed more vivid, more alive. Recovery at home wasn't easy, but it was sacred. Weeks of rest, therapy, and small victories followed. Life gradually returned to normal, except nothing was truly the same. The urgency and glamour of their public lives faded into the background. What mattered most were the quiet moments, sharing coffee on the porch, watching a movie together, or simply existing in the same room, grateful. This transformation inspired Kelly to share their story publicly. She realized that in real life, unlike television, the most profound moments arrive unannounced. Fame and luxury fade, but what endures is simple: love and family. Fans are still moved by the emotional journey Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos endured. Kelly's heart was torn by Mark's vulnerable wish made during his darkest hour, a wish born from love and legacy. Even in illness, Mark's devotion to his family shone through. Kelly shared, through tears, how much that wish meant to her, a reminder of how fleeting time can be and how powerful love truly is. Since their story became public, countless friends, celebrities, and fans have reached out in support. Their honesty through hardship offered the world a glimpse of something universal: the unbreakable bond of family and the transformative strength of love.